A very welcome back to my channel. I never thought I would make a video and share my birth story. It's been 9 months that I delivered my baby boy, so I'll be sharing you whatever I remember from that time. So here we are in the hospital, day 1. I was shown diabetic in this pregnancy and the size of baby was increasing faster, so I had to be induced earlier in 38 weeks. So this was the day of my appointment for induction. Me and my husband came to hospital ready with all the necessary things to deliver baby. This was the time when they gave me first dose of gel induction. It means when doctor gives medicine or use some medical method to bring the labor earlier than when it naturally happens, in my understanding. Due to the volume of patient that day, the hospital had very limited bed. The doctor gave me 2 options. So the doctor gave me advice to come back after 20 hours or so or wait in the hospital. They also told me if anything serious or if the contraction is much, I can come back anytime. Basically, they were prioritizing the patient who needed it much. It was on December 5th, 2023, and that day it was snowing. We thought it was a good idea to go home and come back. Now the funniest thing is, I always wanted to take a picture in snow with my pregnant belly and sari on, and here I think this was the sign that I got that chance because it was not snowing until the previous day. I was literally waiting for the snow. After getting home, I quickly changed to sari and got my husband to click this video and pictures. I was so satisfied. So I still had contraction in those time. I didn't have very good experience with the hospital anyway. They made me wait and go back home for the second time. And this is the final time of me going to hospital to actually deliver. This was the day. So this is the 8th of December. This was the labor room which was finally ready, and it was for me. The doctors also couldn't delay more than this. After getting admitted to this room, I was actually feeling so happy and relaxed because I was taken care of very nicely. A separate nurse on duty was there to help me. My biggest fear at this time was if I would be able to give normal vaginal birth or it had to be cesarean. Since the contractions were already gone and I had no labor at all. So here is my frustrated husband complaining about us coming to hospital for a 3rd time, and he was still not sure if the delivery would happen today. It was around 4 or 5 at this time in the evening, and by this time I was so hungry. At this time I had a little cold, so I was supposed to wear a mask at all time whenever somebody is there around. I was so tired of laying by this time, and I was so sleepy at the same time because it was the day in a row that we couldn't sleep well. And the most frustrating thing is I couldn't even sit straight or lay down completely since there was some kind of ultrasound device to check and monitor the heartbeat of baby. At this time my baby was constantly kicking, you guys. Since the sound from the speaker was on to hear his heartbeat all the time, let me make you guys hear that.
Yeah. Almost. 10 packed timbits, chocolate glaze. है ना?
তুই কিন যাই তো
Did you guys just hear what I wanted? Yes, I wanted to have chocolate glazed Timbits from Tim Hortons and sweet French vanilla. and I was literally telling my husband to get that for me. But unfortunately, there was no Tim Hortons nearby there. He had to drive a little far. And at that time, I had no one in the hospital except him. He couldn't leave me either. Then he went to cafeteria and got me some snacks. He got me this veg falafel wrap, which didn't taste that good, but I was so hungry to not eat that. At time, I was so mad at him when he was recording me all this time. While looking at all these clips, I am so glad that he took for all this beautiful memory. So I couldn't forget my friends called me at this time and asked me what I wanted to eat. They literally got me coffee, timbits, and the best vegetable samosas, pakoras that time before my birth, and I am so grateful. They literally rushed those food to me because they wanted me to have it in my pregnancy last moment before the delivery. This is literally me enjoying my coffee with movie. Actually, by this time, the doctor already broke my water manually and my contractions were quite a little active. To not focus on the pain, I managed to watch a Bollywood movie which name was Rocky or Rani Ki Prem Kahani, which was quite a nice movie. So a little bit after a story time, you guys. We moved to Canada when I was 3 months pregnant. To be honest, you guys, when I got to know I was pregnant with the second baby, I was not very happy. Bedu was just 22 months old when I was pregnant, and at the same time we were moving to other country, so we didn't know how challenging it would be in a country where you don't have much friends and no family members, already with a toddler. For sure, it would be very tough. But making myself strong, I accepted the truth, and I'm so glad that my family would be fulfilled with this little one coming this day. Because today, when I look at my kids, I feel so complete. Okay, coming back to the video, this was the time when I was having very active contractions and pain. While I was very mad for my husband taking videos all the time and I was having severe pain, I thought of walking around to lessen the pain, I guess. While my contractions and pain were fluctuating, my nurse came and kept checking for how far I have progressed. By this time, the pain was so terrible and unbearable. I was literally focusing on the breathing technique, which helps in labor. However, the pain was in its highest at this time, and my doctor called her team. She checked, and now it was time for me to push my baby boy. And here is me fighting my last battle of pain. After 35 to 40 minutes of active contractions, labor pain, and all, now it was finally the time that my boy came out. My tearing and stitches were a lot, but all the pain was worth it after looking at this miracle. Even while looking at this now, I am so emotional. While this boy was still on my chest, my stitching were going on. For me, actually, the stitching are more painful than the actual labor. At this point of time, I was semi-unconscious, conscious, coming back and forth. And honestly speaking, whenever I was blanking out, I was more worried about Bedu because this was literally the very first time I left her for so long. She has never ever slept without me. But my baby girl was so strong that she didn't bother so much. She didn't trouble a lot. I was also very grateful for my homie, my friend and sister who took care of my baby when I was in hospital all this time. The nurses told me to take this inhaler whenever my pain were going high, and whenever I was taking it for quite a long time, I used to literally blank out and go unconscious. I was literally crying taking Bedu's name. I really missed her at this time. So here is me coming back to my consciousness, and look at this boy already sucking thumb like her sister. After a while he was taken for measurement and checking off everything.
It's so cute.
They did some measurements and they checked if he was completely fine, healthy.
He has a birthmark here.
Yeah, my daughter also has the same.
Yeah, it is like this is a Mongolian spot, but that one is a birthmark. This is like a Mongolian spot.
Yeah.
Like right here.
Yeah, my
So
daughter
it's a
also.
mark.
My daughter
that
also
it's
has the
your-
same one.
That's so cute. Okay. You want to check bands? Yes.
जस्तो छोरीको छ उसको नि त्यस्तै छ.
So that I can put it here and then you can.
यसमा त्यो हरियो के जस्तो छोरीको छ त्यस्तै छ उसको.
Yeah, there's not.
My husband was literally explaining me about his birthmark and how he looked. While we were still in the labor room, we called our parents and our friends and gave the news of our healthy boy born. Even at this point, I was not ready to feed him, so nurses brought him some milk, and this is my husband feeding him with some milk. After him fed well, we packed our stuffs and got ready to leave this labor room towards the ward. So they got him in this bassinet and I was in the wheelchair. My husband packed all our stuff and we were good to go. By the way, this room was better than the actual ward. After getting shifted to the ward, my friends and Bedu came to see us for the very first time. Bedu was so happy and excited. All this time when I was pregnant, she used to say my brother's missing. So finally her baby brother was here. My baby girl was upgraded to a big sister and I was so emotional.
Right.
No, Bedu.
Ow. Leave milk, hungry. Leave milk. Hungry. Leave hungry.
Bye. Brother. Oh, who's this?
It's a brother.
Whose brother is he?
Baby's brother.
You love your brother? You love your brother?
Some milk.
So much. So many. So much.
I get wrong.
After the visit, they had to leave as visitors were only allowed for a limited time. By this time, it was already around 11 p.m. By this time, I wanted to go home and sleep so bad, but there were still some formalities and checkups. After having normal delivery, at least we had to stay in the hospital for 24 hours. It was cold and snowing outside. This view was from the window of hospital. After eating the food that was brought from our home and having some medicines, I deeply went to sleep. I was so exhausted and tired. I was not even ready to feed and hold Parth. Good thing was nurse and doctors were coming time and again and checking the condition of mine and Parth. Some of the tests for the baby like vision and hearing was still pending. So the hearing test had to happen twice since the first one came not very good. So after they approved our discharge, we did some formalities. I took shower and got ready to go home. Here is my husband carrying baby and we were set to go home. So this was whatever I found in his gallery, compiled it all together. The video format are not uniform, but I'm so glad that he captured this moment as it's really the memory to look back.
Oh, so cute. I love it.
I love you. Oh my god. I love it. No, no, not now.
It's car, a baby.
Why he's crying?
Look at our excited Vedu. So this brings us to the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you in my next vlog. Bye.